Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it is that time of the expansion cycle where we take a look at what was Blizzard thinking? What are these cards? Take a look at what the worst cards from Showdown in the Badlands have been so far using HS replay data, not my garbage opinion, which is just always bad. But no, we're going to use HS replay, and we already know what all the good cards are. The Dr. Holidays of the worlds, the Fies of the worlds, but what are the worst of the worst? So we're going to sort using this diamond through legend. We're going to look through deck win rate, and it should be a lot of fun. And surprisingly, number one is not our Rager little friend, but he will probably show up on that list. And if you enjoy the content on the channel and you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a ton. We may have hit 76K by the time this video has gone live. If we have, thank you very much. If not, well, hopefully we'll hit it soon. So either way, thank you guys so much for all your support. So anyways, starting off at number 10, the 10th worst card so far based on deck win rate, because that's the indicator we go with, because it's really hard to find something that really quantifies it well. Regardless, number 10 is Waste Remover, a 4-mana 7/7 Warlock Demon. At the end of your turn, destroy the bottom 3 cards of your deck. We got to reveal this card, and apparently it sucks. That's too bad. It's at 0.7% of decks. It's a 40.2% deck win rate for a worst cards video. That's actually pretty high for number 10, and has been played 16,000 times. So people have been really trying to hit their barrels of sludge in the bottom of the deck with the Waste Remover, but you can just play as like a 4-mana 7/7 that burns cards. You're an aggressive deck. You don't care. You just want the stats. But that doesn't really work today so well in today's game. And the whole Barrel of Sludge Warlock, although fun and popular, people keep trying to play it. You see how much has been played. It just isn't really working out. And I just feel like when I played it, there's just not enough Barrel of Sludge synergies, not enough way to get that into the bottom of my deck card like Waste Remover to be really solid. And when it does hit those things, it can be really decent, but it just doesn't come together well enough. And as a result, it is number 10. At number 9, we have the only legendary minion on this list, which is pretty surprising. And it is the rogue legendary Velorok Windblade, a 3-mana 3/3. While this is in your hand, play 3 cards from other classes to reveal Velorok's true form. And Velorok's true form is Velorok the Deceiver, a 3-mana 3/6 dragon. Where charge, after this attacks, discover a card from another class. It costs 3 less. So really cool card, design wise, flavor wise, really cool. But unfortunately, it's only in 0.9% of decks, as a deck win rate of 39.6%, and has been played 11,000 times. But yeah, as I said, really cool card, but like it just doesn't, like the payoff isn't enough, right? Like it would be better if it would say, like, if you play 3 cards from another class of this game, like you don't have to hold it at least. That could help it out. And Burgle Thief Rogue is just not really a valid archetype at the moment. There's not enough synergies for that to go with it. And I think the flavor is really cool. I think it's a really cool design card. I figured it wasn't going to be that good when I reviewed it. And I'm like, I just think, you know, bad cards like this can exist when they're fun, but it is pretty darn bad. And you'd like to see it maybe improved in some ways so that Velorok isn't in this bottom 10 list, because that is rather sad. And number 8, we have the Rowdy Partner, a 4-mana 4/3 neutral minion. Battle Cry, if you're holding another 4-cost card, deal 4 damage. It is in 0.04% of decks, has a deck win rate of 38.9%, and has been played all of 860 times. The second least popular card on this list. And yeah, I mean, it's like Gormok the Impaler, kind of, you know, probably better. It can, you know, just easy to get going if you have 4 drops in your hand, but just what deck wants this? What deck is going to build around it? What deck is going to utilize this? Just really isn't a thing, right? It just doesn't slot into anything. It's a decent arena pick if you've drafted a bunch of 4 drops, But even there, it's like, whatever. It's just a deck, a card that just doesn't really have a purpose at the moment. And yeah, it really shows that people don't even want to put it in like any deck. And the sad few that do are not having it really doing much of anything. At number 7, we have another Rogue card. By the way, Rogue, really good or dominant on this list. My goodness. It's almost all neutrals and then like Rogue, and I think there's one more Warlock card. But anyways, Antique Fligger, the 4-mana 5/4 excavate minion or excavate payoff minion, battle cry if you've excavated twice, destroy an enemy minion. It is in 1% of decks, has a 38.7% deck win rate, and has been played 22,000 times. So like, people really try to make excavate rogue a thing, and they put this card in there and it just seems to make it worse, right? If it's in the top 10 worst performing cards, it's making that deck worse, and it's probably just a cut because I don't know. I just feel like every rogue deck doesn't really struggle to remove minions. 4-mana Vile Spine, sadly, 2023 is like, I don't care. And you could Shadow Step it and kill stuff again, but it's just very, you know, for the deck that's not doing well, Excavate Rogue in particular, just not doing great, it just doesn't really help make it any better. And as a result, it is struggling, and it's just kind of flinging poop. It's just flinging poop, all right? Anyways, at number 6, we have another Rogue card, the Shell Game. I think this is the last Rogue card, by the way. The Shell Game, the 3-mana rare spell. You get a random epic, rare, and common card from other classes. This is in 0.2% of decks, has a deck win rate of 38.6%, and has been played 3,100 times. I don't think anybody thought that this card was going to be good. Even though it's 3 mana, get 3 cards, man, it's all right, but you're getting common, rares, and epics from other classes. It's just really weird. It's just a bizarre card, because like those type of cards are like usually, you know, have synergies or build arounds a little bit in mind with it, and it does help get your, you know, your Velorok Windblade going, which is on this list, so you know that's not really a good upside. And yeah, the Shell Game is a shell of what Burgle Rogue was when you could just play 0-mana Knolls and counterban stashes. It's just not quite the same. At number 5, we have the last class card on this list, the Warlock Fire Spell Furnace Fuel. For 4 mana, when this is played, discarded, or destroyed, draw 2 cards. It is in 0.5% of decks, has a 36.7% deck win rate, and has been played 3,100 times. And I wonder if it's set by it saying it's been played 3,100 times, people have spent 4 mana on this how many times? I doubt it. But regardless, playing that Sludge Warlock, playing like standard discard Warlock, there's so few ways to get this damn thing out of my hand to draw cards. Like, if you want it to be the bottom of your deck to get like deleted through a fracking or through the you know, the waste remover, you gotta get lucky. It's just pure luck. And other than that, like, there's just not a lot of good ways to discard from your hand to make this feel really good. You got like Scourge supplies, and it's just, even in Wild, I was struggling to, like, there's an achievement of you gotta play cards without, you know, actually casting the spell. It wasn't even there. I had to like really brute force the discard stuff to really get it going. It is no like the 6-mana Hand of Gul'dan. Can't remember what it's called. I think it was that called that. It's not that at all. It was a lot. This is just not nearly as easy to discard. The synergies aren't there in standard. And as a result, yeah, the card just kind of sucks in standard at the moment. At number 4, we have Howdy Finn, the 2-mana 2/3 epic Murloc. Whenever your hand has less than 3 cards in it, get a random Murloc. It is in 0.06% of decks. It has a 36% deck win rate. It's been played 1,200 times. So basically, you play this with no cards in your hand, you get 3 Murlocs right away, and then you can just play one, you get another one. You play one, you get another one. The problem here is you have to have no cards in your hand. What deck doesn't draw infinite cards anymore? What deck doesn't discover, generate? It's not a thing anymore. This card would have been really good like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Would have been nuts. But now, you can't possibly get down to like 3 cards. When I had to achievement hunt for this, I had just played a bunch of 0 mana cards and then just play Howdy Finn and just spam the Murlocs. Like no regular deck I could just slot this into. It doesn't work. Like this card is really kind of cool and flavorful, but it's from an age of Hearthstone that doesn't exist anymore. Like card draw and generation is so insane, so free at the moment that a card like Howdy Finn is just irrelevant, and as a result is number 4 on the list. At number 3, we have the Cactus Rager, a 2-mana 5/1 poisonous. Yes, it's not number 1 or 2. You'll see why in a second. It is in 0% of decks. It just says 0. It has a deck win rate of 34.8% and has been played this entire expansion through Diamond through Legend on HS Replay at least 21 times. 21 times. Like one person played it and they got 34% deck win rate. I will say though, the played win rate, 42%. It boosted whatever deck they had it in, so it might even be better than this. People just don't know because they haven't played enough of the Cactus Rager. So yes, Cactus Rager, not number 1. And at number 2, we have the Bounty Board, a 3-mana 0/5 rare minion. Your Excavate, Quick Draw, tradable, and legendary cards cost 1 less. It is in 0.1% of decks, has a deck win rate of 34.2%, and has been played 1,900 times. There's like an achievement with it, but I don't think it's really gone with that. The card just, there isn't enough synergy for this to really work. It's a card where I feel like this card, although the second worst card in all of Standard right now, which by the way, Tomb Tampering back in the day was also in this video, and that card was like broken and wild and all that stuff. I just feel like at some point there'll be some combo somewhere where this becomes broken because it can get stuff down to 0. There just has to be that right combination of cards. There's nothing even approaching that right now. The card sucks because yeah, just playing 3 mana to get a bit of mana cheat with like a flint firearm is just not really gonna do the thing. And at number 1, the worst card in Showdown the Badlands is 1. I actually would have predicted to be the worst card other than Cactus Rager. It is just crap. This card sucks. It sucks to pick an arena. It is the Horseshoe Slinger, a 3-mana 2/2 mech battle cry. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion, so that sucks. Quick draw, so if you've drawn it or added to your hand, you do it to one of its neighbors. That's also not very good. So yeah, well, let's just go to the stats. It's at 0.06% of decks, has a deck win rate of 33.3%, and has been played 1,400 times. I just remember I played this in arena. Someone had a 4/4 on the board. I'm like, oh, like quick draw, this crappy 3-mana 2/2 mech. At least I could kill this 4/4. It does the 2 damage, and it didn't do anything else. It doesn't even do the same thing on the same minion, possibly. Like, it's like the most understated card for I don't know what reason, why this is just a 2/2, why it's a random minion, and why it can at least hit the same thing again to kill it. Like, it's just such a useless card where even in arena, I pick this almost entirely unless there's just nothing worth picking. And the Horseshoe Slinger makes me want to sling some, you know, some things at this card, and I just don't get it. Why is it a 2/2? It could easily be, everything is like premium stats these days, and this thing is like -2 stats basically for what it could be. It could be a 4/4, well, at least a 3/4. It could be a spider tank, but regardless, it's not very good, and it is number 1 on the list. So let me know in the comments below what you think the worst cards are from the set, what surprised you on this list, any of these cards you'd like to see get buffed or whatever. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.